Napoleon Bonaparte is one of the largest political figures who was considered a brilliant commander, very efficient and with a phenomenal memory. Modern historians claim that his image is highly embellished, covered in legends created by him. Napoleon I Bonaparte, Napoleone Bonaparte. This is how the name of the future emperor sounded in the Corsican manner until 1796. Was born on August 15, 1769, on the island of Corsica into a family of local poor aristocrats. He had 12 sisters and brothers, of whom only 7 survived to adulthood. A year before the birth of Bonaparte, Corsica was given to the French king for eternal possession. Napoleon spoke with a very noticeable Italian accent, because his native language was the Corsican dialect of Italian. He began to learn French after he was 10 years old, and before that, he learned to write and read in Italian. While studying at Brienne-le-Château, Napoleon had almost no friends due to his humble origins and patriotism for his native Corsica. The future emperor was interested in ancient history, mathematics, and geography. Due to multiple conflicts with teachers, Napoleon once became an informal leader among his peers. It is known that when Napoleon studied at the Brienne Cadet School, he told his comrade Bourrienne that in the future he would try to do as much harm as possible to the French. And he kept his word, taking a direct part in the French Revolution, during which the monarchy was overthrown, and Napoleon himself made a magnificent military career. In the late 1780s, to solve his family's financial problems, Napoleon tried to join the Russian Imperial Army, which was well paid. Only foreigners were recruited there on condition of a reduction in rank, which he did not agree to. In 1785, Napoleon became a junior lieutenant of artillery and in 1795, a division general. Only the army that he had was very weak. Recently, it belonged to Italy, but against the background of the revolutionary troops of France, it turned out to be the worst. Napoleon, realistically assessing the situation, decided to train the soldiers himself. As a result, the weak Napoleonic army not only ensured the defense of France, but was also able to defeat Austria's allies on the Italian peninsula. Italy and France then became brotherly republics, and the Austrians were withdrawn from the war. The next victory of the future emperor was the overthrow of the Mamluks ruling the Ottoman Empire. Egypt, which belonged to the Ottoman Empire, interfered with British trade relations with India. Napoleonic troops held out, but were left without supplies because the French fleet was destroyed by the British. Napoleon then left Egypt, taking with him various valuable artifacts. The return of Napoleon to France became a new round of history for the country. The revolutionaries were overthrown. Napoleon became, for now, the unofficial leader, and his army became one of the best in the world. On May 18, 1804, he was finally proclaimed emperor. During the reign of Napoleon, France became one of the major powers along with the Roman Empire, the Russian Empire, Great Britain, and the already losing ground of the Ottoman Empire. Bonaparte was able not only to defeat the armies of each of these countries, but also to seize the territories of 3 of them. The Holy Roman Empire, which existed until 1806, ruled Hungary, Germany, parts of Italy, Poland, and parts of other Balkan countries. Napoleon captured the capital of the empire, Vienna, ruled by the Habsburg dynasty since the 14th. He deprived the Roman Empire of the ability to rule the German states. During the Napoleonic Wars, the Ottoman Empire lost Egypt. The Ottomans fought Bonaparte several times, but did not win any of the battles.
After a series of conquests, Napoleon turned his attention to the largest power in terms of territory, the Russian Empire. Many victories over the Russians allowed the emperor to gain control over Russia from the European borders to Moscow itself. But this was not enough for Napoleon. His goal was the complete destruction of the Russian Empire. Bonaparte confidently walked towards it, anticipating a quick victory. Only it turned out that the forces were not equal. The Russian army turned out to be a strong and already experienced enemy, but due to its half the size, the wars with Napoleon dragged on for 2 decades.
The French treasury no longer covered the costs of military operations. Europe became increasingly dissatisfied with what the emperor was doing. In Italy, partisans fought against the French. Napoleon's soldiers were successfully driven out of the Netherlands and Switzerland. Fierce battles between the Spaniards, British, and Portuguese against Napoleon's army took place in Spain. By 1815, there were already 7 coalitions in the world opposing the French emperor. 3 years earlier, the Russians were able to overthrow Napoleon and drive him out of their territory. Of Bonaparte's 450,000 soldiers, only 25,000 returned home. The deposed emperor, forced to abdicate his throne, was exiled to the island of Elba, but was able to leave it and briefly regain the French throne. Later, Bonaparte was forcibly sent to St. Helena, where he died on May 5, 1821. In total, more than 3 million people died during the Napoleonic Wars. After his defeat, the balance of power in Europe changed dramatically.